Hi guys. For today, we're learning how to use the order of operations and how to enter in problems where they have the order of operations into a calculator. This is a review from what you've learned previously. First, try this warm-up, A, B, C, and D on your own without a calculator. Pause, and I'll go over the answers in just a second. All right, for A, your answer should be 13. For B, your answer should be 80. For C, this one's a little weird. You would think it's -3 times -3, but order of operations means we should actually do exponents first. So this would be -3 squared, which is -9. For D, it's -3 times -3 because you do the parentheses first, and that equals +9. This is really important. A lot of people make this mistake for years. If you want to say that it's -3 times itself, you need to put the parentheses around it. So order of operations refers to all the operations, but usually we think of 4 of them: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. As we enter into doing algebra, we're going to actually use some different symbols for multiplication, like this little dot guy here, and we'll also use parentheses. For division, frequently we just put numbers in a fraction bar, like 8 divided by 2 would look like this. Each one of these is called an operation, and mathematicians have come up with a way to always do these operations in a certain order so we all get the same answer. We can remember these with some mnemonic or memory devices. The first is "Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally," or you can just shorten it into just the letters P-E-M-D-A-S, or PEMDAS. The P stands for parentheses. We should always do the things that are in parentheses first. Then the E is exponents. After that comes multiplication and division. Now we actually do multiplication and division in one big step, so I'm going to put a little bracket there. And then we do addition and subtraction. I'm going to write add and sub. And those ones are also one big step. So really there's 4 steps in this order of operations. Let's try it out in example 1 without a calculator. I'm going to do A with you. Parentheses should go first. I see some parentheses, so I'll do what's inside them. 8 divided by 4 is 2. And then I'm going to write this out. You don't have to do that on every single thing, but it's nice to keep track. We don't have any exponents, so got those 2 steps taken care of. We do have multiplication, so I'll do that next. Multiplication and division go at the same time, remember? But I don't have any division, so I'll just do all my multiplication. 2 times 5 is 10, keep the minus. 5 times 10 is 50, times 2 is 100. And then 10 minus 100, that goes into the negatives, and it's going to be 90, since 100 is 90 bigger than 10. Go ahead and try B, C, and D, making sure to do your multiplication and division before your addition and subtraction. Follow the order of operations. Here are the answers to B, C, and D. For B, you should have gotten 32. For C, you should have gotten 19. And for D, you should have gotten 12. Now let's practice entering in some bigger expressions into a calculator. I'm going to specifically do D. You can practice entering in the other ones because D is a little weird. Let's go over to this box. That's what this little asterisk means. Almost every rule has an exception. A fraction bar breaks the problem into a top and a bottom. In order to do this, you're going to find the top first, then the bottom. Well, if you want to find the bottom first, that's cool. But you need to find out what both the top and bottom are equal to, and then divide at the very end. If you're putting it in a calculator, put parentheses to communicate to your calculator that it should do that. I'm going to show you how I do this. I actually sometimes when I don't have a calculator with me, I do this in a web browser. So I'm just going to enter it into Google. So first thing I'm going to do is put in parentheses this top part, 4 plus 8 times 5 minus 3. So let's go over here. I actually did it. So here's in parentheses, 4 plus 8 times 5 minus 3. And it looks a little weird because I have two sets of parentheses, but those parentheses were the parentheses that were already there. And then I added 2 more on the outsides to indicate that that's the numerator. Then put divide, and then put the bottom in parentheses. So I have 7 plus 6 divided by 2. So I'll put 7 plus 6. Ooh, I don't have a division sign, but I can use this little fraction bar. Divided by, was it 2? Yeah. And then close parentheses at the very end. It says that it equals 2, which strikes me as a little weird. So let's check this out. We're going to do the top, do the bottom, and divide. I'll do the parentheses first. 5 minus 3 is 2. And then 8 times 2 is 16, plus 4 is 20. Then I'll do the bottom. On the bottom, 6 divided by 2 is 3, because remember, division comes before addition. And 7 plus 3 equals 10. And 20 divided by 10 does equal 2. So remember how I said that we would sometimes use division looks like a fraction bar? That's actually what we ended up doing here. So even though it was all in a big fraction, it divided evenly, so we didn't end up with a fraction as our answer. Go ahead and try the other ones. F is a little tricky, and then I'll go over the answers. Here are your answers. A is 9, B is 223, it was a big one. C is 4, E is 24, and F is negative 1/5. You might have gotten negative 0.2 when you plugged it in your calculator.